Hello friends, welcome to Geeky Rabbit. Welcome to our today's session in the Java series where we focus on creating simple Java programs that will help you out to clear your basics. So while working with Java, sometimes we need to write a code in such a way that executes certain part of a code and when the specified condition is true or false, which we often get to know at the runtime. So in short, here the Java code should have the decision making abilities, and the Java if statement is the most simple decision making statement in Java. Such statements are also called as control flow statement as they control the flow of the code or program. The Java if statement checks for the Boolean condition true or false and executes the code accordingly. Following are the types of if statements: the if statement, if else statement, if else if, and nested if. So these are the four types of if statement, and let us now see them one by one. So let me open the syntax first. So I have jotted down some syntax for all the methods, and we will be seeing that what is the current syntax. So the first one is the if statement. So this if statement will execute the code written under it only when the condition is true. So if you can see, the syntax is something like this, and if this condition is particularly true, then only this code gets executed. So this is the simplest form of if statement. The next one is the if else statements. This if else statement will execute the code written under a if block if the condition is true. So if this condition is true, this code will get execute, and it will execute the code written in the another block when the condition is false, or it will execute this code if the condition is false. So this is what you call as if else statement. Then the third one is if else if. In this case, at least one of the condition is executed from multiple statement depending upon the logic. So the syntax something goes like this. So there are multiple conditions specified in it, and if suppose we have condition one that goes true, so we get the result as true, so then this code will get executed. So I have not written any code here, but whatever code will be here, that will get executed. Otherwise it the control will go to else if, then it will check for this condition, and if found true, then it will execute the code in this block. So if all the conditions are false, then it will go to the last block, which is else, and it will print out the condition, the code in here if all the conditions he has visited till now is found as false. So it all depends upon what logic you have given in, and one of the statement will give you true results, and accordingly the code gets executed. And the last one is the nested if statement. In this, the block written in another if statement block. So the inner block if condition will execute only when the outer if block condition is true. Otherwise, it will skip this part of the code. So like particularly if this condition is true, then only it will go in and execute this code, and then it will enter this if condition. But if this condition is itself false, then it will not check for this if condition block. So in this way, these are the four types for if statement, and this is the syntax. So there are few logical operators that we can use with the if statement, and the different logical operator that can be used with if statement are like this. So double equal to is means it will specify that it equal to. So if you want to compare any particular variable, then the expression should be like this. Then there is not equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and the modulo operator. So all these operator you can use with the if statement, and we can check when we will be doing some programs regarding the if statement, how to use this particular logical operators. So going back, so now if you want to compare variables, the right way of comparing different types of variable in Java is shown below. So if we are having a variable, suppose as int, so like suppose this is an int variable and it is having some value. So now in if statement we will specify the condition something like this, like age is equal to 50. So it will check for this value, and these are the logical operators. So any logical operator you can use here. So we have used equal to. You can also use non-equal to, or greater than or equal to, something like this. And if this statement is found to be true, then this part of code will be executed. Similarly, this is a double variable, and it goes into the if conditions similar to the int operator. So if commission is greater than 3.5, then this code to be executed. So this specified that we have given the commission as 2.5. So this is less than So this is not greater than 3.5. So this part of code will not be executed. So whatever statements will be there under this if statement, those will be ignored. Now, after comparing variable, if you want to compare a string in Java, we have to use either equals or equals ignore case or compare to method. And in case you want to perform a case insensitive operation, then you should use instead of equals, you should use equal ignore case. So in here we are just taking in the user input using the scanner class. So we are asking the user to input his name, then we are storing that in a particular variable, that is name, using the scanner class, and then we are comparing this name variable with a string. So if the user enters whatever name that equals to this Adam, then this will print this message. And if the name is not matching to Adam, then the control will go to else, and this part of block will be executed. So whenever if we enter Adam, then we should get this response, and if we get any other name, then we should get this response. So in this way, the string comparison can also be done using the equals or equal ignore case method. And in case if you want to compare multiple string objects in alphabetical order, then use compare to method, which helps us in deciding the order of multiple strings. So, so it will be something like this. So we have taken a string A1 and we have given a value. Then we have taken string A2 and we have taken another value. And then we are writing the if logic. If A1 compare to, so we have to use compare to method here. So if A1 compared to A2 is greater than 1, then it will type, so it will print A comes after B in alphabetical order. And if this is found to be false, then it control will move to this else if statement, and it will again compare. And now this time if it is less than -1, then it will print A comes before B in alphabetical order. And now if both the strings are equal, then the control will go in here else, and it will print A and B are equal to each other. So we can see this type of, we'll copy this and we will just create a class, and we'll quickly see whether we are getting the desired output. So we'll give if else, and now we'll just copy in the code and we'll try running the program. So just in here we'll go. Okay, so in here we have taken string one, this, so this needs to be going into, yeah, so this will go in double inverted, yeah. And now let us run and we can see. So what is the output? Okay, so we are getting some error. Okay, so the variable name is A1 and this is A2. So this needs to be changed. A1, A1, and this is A2. Okay, so now the program is correct, I guess. And let us run it again. So now you can see it has printed India comes after Australia in alphabetical order. So Australia is beginning with A and India is beginning with I. So that's why it has printed in here. So this my first part, this first statement is becoming true in this case, and that's why this message is being printed. So now if we do one thing, if we go and if we give the same string, let us see what happens. So in this case, we should get this method A1 and A2 are equal to each other. So let us go and run this program once again. And yeah, see, we can get the result. India and India are equal to each other. So this is the message which we have printed. So yes, we are getting the desired output. So we'll now see an example where we'll write Java code to accept a number from the user and compare it with the system generated random number. We'll print a suitable message in case it does not match, or in case if the user guess number matches with the system generated number. So for this we will create another class. So let's create a new class and let's name it as random number game, and let's select public static void main as well. For now, we'll close this if else. Okay. So now, first of all, the first thing that we need to do is we will just print out a message, and we'll say, we'll give some heading, guessing random number. Okay, we can do this. We can just copy this and we can paste it here. Okay, so this is done. Now we will use a method thread local random in order to generate a random number. Thread local random is a utility class introduced from JDK 1.7 onwards and is useful when required to generate random numbers. It improves the performance and have less contention than math random method. So we can use it, and we will define it as, so we will need a variable. So we will be defining int random number. So whatever the number system will be generated, we will store in this, and we will give it as thread local random dot current, and then we'll give next int, and here we will have to specify the range. So we will be generating numbers between 1 and 6. So any number between 1 and 6 will be generated at runtime, and it will be stored in this random number. So now if you want to print it out, we can just say so. We can do a system out println, and we can see what number is generated, but we can do it later. So now we'll just, so now to take user input, we'll have to define a scanner class as always we do. So we will be doing it, and then we will be specifying system.in, which will allow us to take the user input. Also, we need to import scanner class, and then we will have to store this. Okay, so first of all, we will just print out a message to the user saying that enter the number, or something like guess the number and type in it here. So we'll ask him to guess the number, and we'll ask him to type in. Once it types, we will just take it in another int variable. So we will be taking that user guessed number. So we will be taking it this, and it will be scanner, sorry, sc dot next. So whatever he will be entering, we will be taking int, so next int. Okay, so now we have got two numbers. One is the system generated number, and one is the user guessed number. So now it's time to compare them both, and we have to print the message. So in here we will be using if statement. So if, we will say random number equal to user guess number. So this, we are comparing two variables in here. So if this condition is true, then we will have to print. So we will print you have guessed it correctly, and if not, then we will write the else logic, and we will print out. So we'll print something, some message like hard luck, try again next time. So now our program is ready, and what we will be doing is, so let us also write this statement here to just see what the number is being generated by the system. So we will be giving it here so that we will be sure. And yeah, so let's first of all comment it out, and just first of all we will see how our program works. So now we'll run it, and now we are seeing that the heading is being printed, and the user is being asked to guess the number and type it in here. So we'll type a value between 1 or 6, so that will be 4. So now if it matches with the random number, then we will get this message, and if does not match, then we'll get this message. So let us hit enter. So it seems that it has not matched, and that's why we are getting this message. So in order to confirm whether a program is running, we'll just uncomment this, and we will also do one thing. We will also put \n here so that we get a space in between this, and we'll run again now. So now see, guessing random number is being printed. Then we have printed the system random number. So the system has generated 2. Now it is asking us to generate guess the number. So now if we give 2, ideally we should get this message because we have guessed it correctly. So we'll do it, and we get the message, you have guessed it correctly. So our program is running, and now we will again see, we'll once again run this, and now it has generated 4. So now this time we will just go and just give a wrong choice. So user has guessed 3, but system has generated 4. So this is not matching. So we will get this message. Hard luck, try again next time. So let's click on enter and see, we get this message. So with this, we come to an end of this session in this video series. Hope you have liked it, and do type in your suggestions or any questions in the comment section below. In the next session, we'll be seeing different Java loops, that is for loop or the do while loop. And till then, stay tuned. Thank you.